The influence of the 5 worlds of Satan on human societies too. Testimony of a former Satanist. The story of my life really began in 2003. Back then my mother was suffering from a mystical sickness. Men of God came to pray for her sickness occasionally during her sickness while her situation was deteriorating and aggravating as she was heading to her death. Mother said to us, "My children, I can see people leading me to a mountain. They have brought me clothes. I can see that they are taking me inside the car in order to transport me deep inside the forest." Before passing out my mother said, "This is happening because the lady who is our landlord has offered me an African loincloth as a gift. It is thanks to this cloth that the landlord has bought my soul. Please, my children, go buy an African loincloth and give it to her." Immediately my sister went to the market and bought the African loincloth so that we can give it to the landlord. I was doing sport back then. I took that loincloth from my sister and I went to see the landlord. I said to her, "Madame, I have come to tell you this is the loincloth you gave my mother. I have come to give you back your clothes so that you can leave my mother alone. I don't want to hear you mention the name of my mother again, and the day I hear my mother complaining about you, I will kill you. If I don't kill you, it will be a sin, for I have failed to carry out my promise." Strangely, this lady was unfazed by my threat. She said to me, "You're gonna have to drop this loincloth in the toilet." Since I was ignorant, I said, "I don't mind dropping it in the toilet. There is nothing special about it." Immediately I went to the toilet and I dropped the loincloth. As a result, my mother died on that very day at 10 p.m. I came to the realization that I was outsmarted and overcome by the landlord. She went as far as killing my mother despite my warning, yet I warned her not to mention her name. After burying my mother, I made up my mind to avenge the death of my mother at all costs. The landlord had to pay with her life. Initiation in Japanese mysticism. Later on, I joined an opera group where we were doing drama. One day a leading actor told me, "I can see that you are acting and playing very well. However, I want to tell you that despite your talent, people will not notice you and be interested in your acting, for all the attention will be on me. They will not see you." I was stunned by his speech. I said, "How can you praise my talent on one hand, and on the other hand, you say that I will not be noticed?" The actor replied to me, "Your star is bright, but it is covered by something preventing it from shining. Your star is like inside an egg or coconut shell. You're going to need to break the egg for it to show in order to allow your star to shine. That way you will make an impact on life." I asked the actor, "How can I enable the light of my star to reach the world?" He replied to me, "We will talk when we have finished the work and I will direct you." It was on that day that this actor led me to the Japanese occultic order called Mahikari. Mahikari is a Japanese religious movement founded in 1963 by Yoshikazu Okada. The name Mahikari means true light in Japanese, being a compilation of the words Ma and Hikari. The stated aim of the organization is to help people improve the quality of their lives and attain happiness by practicing universal principles and a method of spiritual purification called the art of true light. In truth, this is an occultic order, and the true light is Jesus Christ. These movie and musical celebrities are deeply in the occult. Fame in this world is in the hand of Lucifer. When I went for the first time in this church, I had no money, but after the service, I saw that everybody was interested in me. They were greeting me and giving me money for transport, and this was good money. Since I was struggling, I was encouraged to come again because of the goodness of these adepts of this secret order. I was told that I am supposed to receive light. On that day, the leader told me, "Today, you shall sleep a deep sleep like never before, and if a witch ever sees you in the morning, she may tell you that you have become a witch." On that night, things happened exactly as the leader said. I slept deeply. When I woke up in the morning, an old woman told me, "When I look at you, my son, I fear you for what you have become." This meant nothing to me. However, I remember that our minister told me that a witch may tell me that I had become a witch. This old lady was actually a witch. I failed to ask myself why a witch was telling me that I have become a witch like her. When I began to attend this cult regularly, I was waiting to be asked to introduce my request about the brightness of my star and the death of my landlord, yet it was taking time, for they never asked me to do so. There came a moment in this secret order. We were told that the country had to be purified in order to allow spiritual activity, as there was a blockage. The so-called purification was meant to allow the spiritual activity of this Japanese order. One day our minister told me, if you want money and fame, you're going to need to sow a seed of $100. As a result, we will pray for you and your spirit will travel beneath the water, where you will see all the generation of your family starting with your first ancestors. They have great wealth in the marine kingdom. You're going to need it, brother. There are churches that are secret orders of lodges. These churches are a cultic order. When you give your money they can block you. Months later, I was initiated and given sacred objects that people were not supposed to see. When I came to this church, in the beginning, it was difficult to know that this church was about magic. I saw men of God, I saw public figures and celebrities. I thought there was nothing wrong. When the teaching began, we were told, you should not profit from people's blood and tears, these are the poison of souls. In that teaching, the focus was on the soul of man, where his intellect and reason are. In fact, the practice of magic is about the use of your mind and intellect. You got to use your mind, otherwise you shall become crazy. They want you to use your mind in order to meet the needs of your body, while your spirit is blocked from having a relationship with God. After being initiated in this order, I was supposed to learn to work with spirits, deliverance, permutation of demons and the goddess Lilith. My first satanic experience happened in the Catholic Church. This happened when a Catholic member of the local parish fell sick. She was brought to a Catholic priest for prayer. I was instructed to attend the deliverance and prayer of the Catholic priest for the healing of this lady, but I wondered what was the link between Mahikari and the Roman Catholic religion. I was told it was a must that I had to attend this prayer. When the lady was taken to the priest for prayer, I joined them in the parish. Immediately I saw the priest lighting candles and burning incense. Brothers and sisters, whenever you see people doing prayer with candles or incense, it's definitely magic and mysticism. Yet there are churches in the city that are asking members to come with candles for prayer. I will advise you to leave such a church when your pastor began to use candles. Watch out. We were in the parish praying for the healing of this sister. The Roman Catholic priest told me that the smoke of the incense chases away unclean spirits, but in truth, the smoke of incense invites unclean spirits to come wherever it is burned in order to act in relation to a special need. At first, I saw the priest praying in his heart, then he began to utter a word that I could not understand. The priest was praying for the healing of this lady. As a result, I saw a man coming out of the body of this lady. This was actually a humanoid demon. It was my first time to see a demon. I was scared. The priest told me, what I am doing now is not my level. These are things you are supposed to do. I am doing this so that you can be accustomed to unseen spirits, for you are supposed to master them. They are not supposed to master you, brother. When this demon came out of this lady, the demon said to the priest, I don't understand why you are trying to cast me out, but I'm not in her body illegally. It makes no sense. She owed me things, therefore I have legality over her. Since this lady has things that belong to me, I decided to take her life. Somehow I'm running into some opposition for 9 months. I will definitely kill her and conquer her soul. So the priest said to this demon, since I am involved in this matter, things must change. The priest told me, you needed to see these spirits because you have to work with them. God's angels serve God's children and demons serve Satanists and the witches. The witches are the last in the hierarchy of the dark world. The devil removes the intelligence of witches and replace their minds and hearts so that they would become heartless. That way, they will react without their mind with evil instinct. While I was in this parish, I saw the priest debating the demon. In the end, the priest said to the demon, since the lady owed you things, give her 9 months so that she can pay what she owed you, then you can take her life. The priest said to this unclean spirit, this is the deal I propose to you. You're going to stay out of the body of this lady with your sickness. I am going to call the queen of prostitution, the mistress Lilith. She will indwell the lady and she will replace you so that she would come under her manipulation into fornication and seduction. When this lady would be deep in prostitution, she would be rejected and cursed by people. Then you can take her life. Then the demon agreed to prolong the life of this lady for 9 months. Immediately I saw the priest summoning the queen of seduction and mistress of the sea, Lilith, and the female demon, Lilith, came out of the marine kingdom and she entered the lady. At that moment, the lady was healed of her condition, and when she was healed, she launched herself in a lifestyle of prostitution. The spirit of the sickness that was hell-bent in killing her became her monitoring spirit, for this demon was following her everywhere she went, while the queen of sexual immorality Lilith was influencing her in prostitution. Everybody was upset, for her prostitution was scandalous and people could not bear her. They were actually cursing her for her immoral life, since people killed her with their words. The demon organized a traffic accident where she was hit by a car in the street and she died. I came to understand that this so-called prayer of the Catholic priest was actually a permutation of the unclean spirits. The spirit of sickness was removed and replaced by the spirit of prostitution. This is precisely the deliverance that happened in the Church of False Prophets. They removed sickness in people's bodies and people are healed, but their soul and spiritual lives are handed to the devil, like this lady. People who are healed in the churches of the false prophets, their lives take a turn after their healing. Thus many people are healed in the churches of the false prophets. In truth, this is a permutation of demons. The demon of sickness leave its place to let another spirit take over. The ultimate aim of these unclean spirits is the soul of the person that is healed. Many healing and deliverance in churches of false prophets are permutation of demons, for Satan cannot chase Satan. Every kingdom divided against itself will be laid waste, and every city or household divided against itself will not stand. If Satan drives out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then can his kingdom stand? Matthew 12:25-26 Necromancy. After this experience, I was sent to the cemetery to do the cult of the dead called necromancy. We were doing great prayer in the cemetery, and when we pray, even if you hit my body, I will not feel anything, because we were reaching a high level of concentration. That was actually another environment that we were reaching. I was invoking deads in the cemetery. Thank God, for I was not asked to offer a human being as a sacrifice. I was evolving in this Japanese mysticism. I was in our church of Mahikari. The service was about to begin when suddenly I began to sing a gospel song that I heard on the radio, which says, "You can deprive me of all the things of the world, but don't deprive me of Jesus who died for me." I was singing this song subconsciously in my heart, and this song was repeating itself in my heart. While I was in the lodge, I tried to stop this song, but it continued to play in my heart. Finally, I decided to go back home. This song initiated the process of my repentance.